Hello everyone! This hour on Verbling, the next in my great short stories series, Signs and Symbols by Vladimir Nabokov. This is called one of the greatest short stories ever written, and it also happens to be an easy story to read. It's not so difficult, it's short, but it is a story that is more like a puzzle than a story, and it leaves you doing a lot of guessing. So I think it'll be very interesting for all of you. While we're waiting for people to come in, let me just do a quick introduction, and then we will get started. So, get my name on the board. There we go. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. And by the way, if you click on this link, which I'm going to put in the chat window for you, there you go. You can follow me to see all my upcoming group classes. And of course, you can book a private tutoring session with me. These group classes are great for conversation, practice, having some fun, but serious progress comes with a personal learning plan that I'll create with you to get you to your goals in English, and that can happen in a private tutoring session. So all I ask is that you send me a little message first so I can find time in my schedule, okay? So right now, I'm going to put the material on screen for you. It's still loading, and I'll give you a link in the chat window if you don't have it open. Open this link, and I'm going to say hello to everyone, and we will get started. Okay, and when you open it up, you know you're in the right place because you'll see the face of Mr. Vladimir Nabokov. So, welcome to class. Hello, Sylvia. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks.
Very good, very good. Jürgen, nice to have you back. Long time no see. How are you, Jürgen? Hello, Jürgen. Can you hear me okay? Uh-oh, I don't hear Jürgen. Maybe his connection's not so good. I see two Jürgens, but I don't hear either one. If you've got any connection problems or need some help, just send me a message, Jürgen. How about you, Sabrina? How are you today?
I'm fine, and you?
Pretty good, pretty good. What I'm going to do is, this is a short story, very short story. There's a lot to think about with this story. First of all, let me just see. I don't remember if I put questions here in the text or not. No, I didn't. No, I just have the text itself. So, I wanted to ask you, give me just a second. Oh, I got to open something on my side here. I wanted to ask you if you know any other works, whether they're written or films, from Nabokov, if you know anything about the author. Just out of curiosity, do you know his work?
No, I don't. Maybe, yes, but I don't remember the name.
There's the most famous book of all. You will know it instantly. It is Lolita.
Okay, now, yes.
Famous book and famous movie, Lolita. Lolita was directed by Kubrick, the original one from like, I think it's like late 50s. I think I can't even remember now. And the interesting thing, give me a second here, because I've got a few questions just to get you warmed up here. The interesting thing is that I mentioned that not because it was controversial, but because when he described Lolita, I think there's something similar to the way he approached this short story too. I think this was written before, if I'm not mistaken. He said Lolita wasn't really about a girl. It was about a language. He said that Lolita was written because he learned English. You know, he was Russian. And English was this sort of young, exciting language. And he felt like somehow writing
Really?
Lolita, yeah, he really said this. Somehow writing Lolita was sort of becoming obsessed, falling in love with this young language because he spoke Russian and it was new for him and fresh and exciting. So part of the process of writing was about, you know, mastering English. And there's so many different ways that the concept of mastering something or somebody comes up in the book. But what I'm saying is, it's interesting because I think always present in his writing is the fact that there's something artificial about it. There's always someone behind the story. There's always someone behind the words, like an architect. And in Lolita, there really is an architect who kind of comes in and out of the story, a shadow that you're following. And so I think it's worth mentioning that when you read Signs and Symbols, because I think that it might be there in a similar way, possibly. This was published in the New Yorker in, I think, 1948, so it's a little bit before. And what else did I want to say? Okay, and just a question before we begin. Just look at the title for a second. The title was rewritten. It was Symbols and Signs, and then it was changed to Signs and Symbols. And I have to remember the original title, because Nabokov was a little bit upset. Give me a second here. I have to remember which one was his original title now. The New Yorker, when it published, changed the order of the words, and he later corrected it. Give me a second. The New Yorker, and he objected, by the way. Yeah, there's where's the title? I don't have it here. Well, I don't have the title, but you'll notice that there's a few words that were written in the story in one way that were supposed to be misspelled. So, for example, we'll get to it later, but you'll see there's a couple of words that were changed by the New Yorker, corrected for their misspelling, and he wanted them put back. That was one thing. Also, he wanted. Give me a second. Oh, I thought I had it here. I can't find it. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but I believe originally it was Symbols and Signs, and then he changed it, or vice versa. I can't remember. Anyway, clearly there was something going on, and he wanted you to work out a kind of a puzzle as you read the story. And yet, the story can be read as a straight-ahead narrative, and it is a very sad narrative in many ways. Before we read it, what do you expect from a story called Symbols and Signs? What kind of notions come to mind, if anything? It's always good to start with what your original reaction is to the title. So what comes to mind with the title, Signs and Symbols? What do you expect?
I think that this history could be about upset person.
Mm-hmm. Could be. And how? So what does Signs and Symbols mean to you? What do you expect?
I think it could be a strange form of communication.
A strange form of communication, right? Like having to read the signs. We have that expression. You have to read the signs. Like a language. Go ahead, Sabrina. Yeah, go ahead.
Things that you don't say, but some people see.
Ah, okay. Things that people see, but we don't say. So you mean maybe like, for example, body language?
Yes.
Something like that. Ah, okay. Very good, very good.
You have to make an interpretation about the signs.
Absolutely. You interpret the signs.
But each person do this different. So
what's the result of that?
don't
You're,
know.
you're absolutely right. You're
Yes, but
absolutely right.
my form of see something is different for you. So I after the text maybe I have an opinion and the other person have another.
Right. So we'll say one person's interpretation will be different
Yes.
than another. Absolutely. And I think that that might be the theme of the story. One major theme of the story. It's about perception, I think. Largely about
Yes.
perception. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, let me see. We've got our Anna Carolina joining us now. Hello, Anna Carolina. How are you?
Hello, teacher. I am still half asleep. I just woke up right now.
You've got to go paddleboarding, Anna Carolina, and then you'll wake up.
No, teacher, I will go to work here after your class.
Ah, I can't think of a better way to wake up than reading Nabokov. It's the best way to wake up in the morning. So you're in the right place.
I agree.
Let me say hello to Jorgen. Did you get your connection
Yes,
fixed?
can you hear me now?
Ah, excellent.
I was logged in on 2 devices, so...
Ah, okay. All right. So, let's keep in mind some of your answers to my initial question. My question was, what do you expect from a story with that title? And I think, in particular, interpretation and perspective are really important. By the way, there's one more thing. The story is clearly tied to the time it was written. And yet, it feels very modern. It doesn't feel old, at least to me. It doesn't seem like an outdated story at all. It seems very fresh. If you agree with me, tell me why you think that might be the case. Another story written from the same time period, 1948, might seem totally alien to us. But for some reason, his work, and this story in particular, don't. At least not to me. Let's read it. It's very short. We should have plenty of time to talk about it too. Let's start us off. Why don't we go from left to right, starting with Ms. Anna Carolina, then Jorgen, then Jose, then Sabrina, and then Sylvia. Okay? And I'll try to make it a little bit bigger, if I can, so you can see it a bit better. And there we go. Okay? And I'm go for it.
All right. Signs and Symbols by Vladimir Nabokov. For the fourth time in as many years, they were confronted with the problem of what birthday present to take to a young man who was incurably deranged in his mind. Desires he had none. Man-made objects were to him either hives of evil,
Hives of evil.
thank you, hives of evil, vibrant with a malignant activity that he alone could perceive, or gross comforts for which no use could be found in his abstract world. After eliminating a number of articles that might offend him or frighten him, anything in the gadget line, for instance, was taboo. His parents chose a dainty and innocent trifle, a basket with then different fruit jellies in 10 little jars.
There you go. And 3 words I want you to repeat in the chat window. Just say those. I've given you 2, and I'm going to give you the 3rd right now. The P, by the way, means Pay attention to pronunciation. Look at these three
Okay.
words.
Hive,
Good.
teacher, you have to say this word before, because I don't know.
The symbols show you that.
But I cannot understand the symbols, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you mean you can't read the signs and symbols? Oh.
No.
The word is trifle.
Okay, thank you. Trifle,
Okay, and the first word is again deranged.
deranged,
Okay.
deranged. Thank you, teacher.
You're not off the hook yet, Anna Carolina. Tell me about this character that we've just been introduced to. What do you think about him?
Ah, my gosh.
What comes
Well,
to mind with this little description? One paragraph, and yet we get a lot of information about this guy. So what kind of person is he?
um, well, I'm not sure, but I guess his mind is a bit disorganized.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yes, and he has no desires, no dreams. He's kind of hopeless
Yeah,
for for some reason.
for some reason. We don't know why. Yeah.
Mhm. And well, mm, uh, he believes that everything that is made by the humankind is evil.
Apparently. We're going to find out why in just a bit. And there's one other thing that's brought up in the first paragraph, which is his parents. So,
Mm.
what's your feeling about his parents from that first paragraph?
I'm not sure, but I guess they tried to please him
Mm-hmm.
by giving him a basket with fruit and fruit jellies.
Exactly. And notice it's 10 fruit jellies. Not
Hmm
11, not 9, 10.
Because maybe um, the birthday, the birthday, maybe he's turning into 10 years old, I guess.
Perhaps. It seems very particular. Why 10? I don't know. Maybe he's turning 10. It would make sense. Maybe. In any case, we get the idea that his parents care, but
Uh-huh.
they don't know what to give him because gadgets will scare him. Gadgets are taboo. Things might offend him. So they picked a dainty gift, a dainty trifle. Trifle is something insignificant.
Well, maybe he's adopted and he comes from a tribe,
A
a primitive.
tribe?
Maybe, who knows?
I don't know. I don't think so. You're going to find out why. I don't think so. The reason is because of the place that the story, where the story takes place. It's unlikely. You'll see why in a moment, okay? But good guess. Okay, Jürgen, take it away.
At the time of his birth, they had already been married for a long time. A score of years had elapsed, and now they were quite old. Her drab grey hair was pinned up carelessly. She wore cheap black dresses, unlike other women of her age, such as Mrs. Saul, their next-door neighbor, whose face was all pink and mauve with paint and whose hat was a cluster of brookside flowers. She presented a naked white countenance to the fault-finding light of spring. Her husband, who in the old country had been a fairly successful businessman, was now in New York wholly dependent on his brother Isaac, a real American of almost 40 years standing. They seldom saw Isaac and had nicknamed him the Prince.
Hmm. Why do you think they call him the prince? We don't know yet, but what's your guess?
The prince.
What does that say about their relationship with the brother Isaac?
Well, the brother Isaac was called the prince. I think. Well, it is someone who likes to run things, I guess. Someone who has high thoughts about himself.
Exactly. Get the idea that he thinks he's royalty.
Yes.
And he's a real American. Oh my God, he's a real American. So what does that say about the couple?
Well, they could be foreign. They could be first generation Americans, perhaps, or second generation.
Or zero
But
generation.
It could also mean that they cherish United States, so that people who cherish United States like to address other people like, well, he's a real American.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a positive adjective.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know.
And we don't know yet. It's just to start thinking about, because there's so much information given in the beginning. It's easy to lose it. So I agree completely. The prince, someone who thinks of themselves as royalty. Notice the difference between the next door neighbor and the mother, or the old woman. So she's old. I can assume the son is not 10. He must be pretty old too. Because she's old, she's got drab gray hair. But look at their next door neighbor, Mrs. Soul.
Yes.
What does the word soul remind you of?
The sun.
The sun, of course. So we get this picture of drab old people with white hair giving a trifle, a little innocent gift. We get this idea. Notice she has a naked white countenance. Countenance means appearance. She doesn't wear makeup. Wow. A lot of information, and it's only been 2 paragraphs. Well, let's find out what happens when the story begins. Here we go. Mr. Jose, what happens next in paragraph 3?
Paragraph 3. That Friday, their son's birthday, everything went wrong. The subway train lost its live current between 2 stations, and for a quarter of an hour they could hear nothing. But they
could hear nothing.
They could hear nothing but the dutiful beating of their hearts and the rustling of newspapers. The bus they had to take next was late and kept them waiting a long time on a street corner. And when it did come, it was crammed with garrulous.
Good. Garrulous.
High school children. It began to rain as they walked up the wrong path leading to the sanitarium. There they waited again, and instead of their boy shuffling into the room, as he usually did, his poor face sullen, confused, ill-shaven, and blotched with acne. An as they knew and did not care for, appeared at last and brightly explained that he had again attempted to take his life. He was all right, she said, but a visit from his parent might disturb him. The place was so miserably understaffed, and things got mislaid or mixed up so easily that they decided not to leave their present in the office, but to bring it to him next time they came.
Very good. And look at that word in the chat window. Say that for me again.
Okay. Trafly?
No, below. Below that.
Below. Woof.
Woof.
Garless?
Careful with your R. It doesn't roll. Yeah?
Gargeles?
That's it. The J.
Gargeles.
That's it. Now, I'll say it for you. Garrulous.
Gargeles.
That's it. So that J is just a symbol that is actually pronounced Y. You.
Okay.
Garrulous.
Garrulous. Okay.
All right. So these poor people come all the way. Now, where are they going? I know it's his birthday, but where is he, Jose? Where is their son? In what kind of a place?
I think the place and the subway, no?
The son? But they're on the subway to go and see him. But where does he live?
Where does he live?
Mm-hmm. Is it clear? The key word is here. The key word is...
Sanitarium.
So where is he? What is a sanitarium? You know?
Sanitarium. An establishment for the medical treatment
Of what?
of people who are convalescing or have a chronic illness
Or are crazy.
or are crazy. Okay.
So the idea...
It is a place. It is a place where are the people that the mind that they don't have a healthy mind.
Exactly. It's a place with people who have serious psychological problems.
Yes.
This was his birthday. They're expecting to give him a present. Do they give him a present?
No.
No. Why not? This is very important. What happened? What was the problem? Why couldn't they give the present to him?
Because a visit from his parent might disturb him, no?
No?
No.
Not exactly. Because take a look again. The nurse, what does the nurse say? This part here.
The nurse.
What does the nurse say? The nurse comes out
The
and
nurse they knew and did not care for appear at last and briefly explained that he had again attempted to take his life.
Yeah, so that expression, attempted to take your life, means to take your life.
Okay.
To take your life means what?
To take his life.
What does it mean? You know? If you don't know, I'll tell you. It's no problem.
Take his life. Yes, when you try to commit a murder. Oh, no, to complete your life.
Yeah, suicide. Suicide.
Yes. Try to commit suicide. Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, good. So, this was not a good birthday. You've got the old white people, white hair, drably dressed, feeling helpless, giving the simplest gift they could give. And they get there, and the son has tried to commit suicide. They can't give him anything. Oh my God. How could the story get any worse? We'll find out. By the way, welcome, Yulia. Nice to see you again, Yulia. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Nice to see you again, too.
Fantastic. Okay, we just started the story. You'll catch up really quickly. If there's any questions, just ask. No problem. Okay. So we're on to Sylvia for 4 and 5, please. Actually, maybe 4, 5, and 6. They're really short. Go for it.
Outside the building, she waited for her husband to open his umbrella and then took his arms. He kept clearing his throat, as he always did when he was upset. They reached the bus stop shelter on the other side of the street, and he closed his umbrella. A few feet away, under a swaying and dripping tree, a tiny and flat beard was helplessly twitching in a puddle. During the long ride to the subway station, she and her husband did not exchange a word, and every time she glanced at his old hands, clasped and twitching upon the handle of his umbrella, and saw their swollen veins and brown-spotted skin, she felt the mounting pressure of tears. As she looked around, trying to hook her mind onto something, it gave a kind of soft shock, a mixture
Soft shock.
soft shocks, a mixture of compassion and wonder, to notice that one of the passengers, a girl with dark hair and grubby red
Toenails.
was weeping on the shoulder of another woman. Whom did that woman resemble? She resembled Rebecca Borisivovna, whose daughter had married one of the Slovakians in Minsk years ago.
In Minsk. Hey, where is Minsk?
The last time the boy had tried to do it, his method had been...
Wait, I asked a question though. Where is Minsk?
Okay. In Minsk, in Russia, Slovakia.
In Belarus.
Belarus. So you get a sense of where these people are from, right? By the way, Sylvia, just take a look at the vocabulary word up there, the last one that I put. See that for me again? Can you see it?
No.
After suicide. It's a difficult one.
No, the reason why there is two messages from Anna, and
Here,
then
this one.
okay, unflagged, untitled.
No? Listen to me. Unfledged.
Unfledged. Oh, it's an F. Unfledged.
Yeah, it's an F. A fledgling is a little bird that's learning to fly. So if it's unfledged, can it fly?
No.
No, it cannot. Right? So I wanted to point that out. And also, do you notice there's a connection? A weird connection. He sees the unfledged bird, and what's it doing? What's the unfledged bird doing, Sylvia?
The bird can fly, so she can switch the paddle.
Here, right?
She can jump.
She can't fly, so she's helplessly twitching, like shaking, something like that, shaking. Is there anything else that's described in a similar way to the bird? Because I immediately noticed the connection in paragraph 5. I don't know if you noticed. Is there anything else twitching, Sylvia?
Yes, a bird.
Is there anything else twitching in paragraph 5?
Upon the handle of his umbrella.
So
Claps and twitching upon the handle of his umbrella.
What is twitching? What's the thing that's twitching?
It's like...
Not what does twitching mean, but what is the thing that is twitching in paragraph 5? Is it a bird?
No, it's her. She can't handle the umbrella.
Exactly. Now, it's not her though, it's the man's hands. It's this. She's looking at his hands. His hands are twitching. I just pointed out because I can't help but notice the same description of the helpless bird in the puddle and the twitching hands on the umbrella. It must be there for a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but it must be there. Just something that we notice. It's almost like a symbol, isn't it? And the story is called Signs and Symbols. Curious, huh? Curious. Maybe I find it curious anyway. Okay, and one last point before we go on. The woman, she sees the girl with the grubby red toenails. Grubby is kind of like, dirty, not well kept or something like that. So it's a little girl, and she's crying. And she starts talking about Minsk. She starts talking about these people. What does that say about her mind at that moment? I don't know. What impression do you have of that last part of paragraph 5? What does it say about what's going on in her head?
She's jumping from one contest to another one.
Yeah. Kind of like an old person who can't really stay focused or something. Her mind is, the expression is, her mind is wandering. So it says something about her character. I don't know where all this is going. We're going to find out at the end. So, Yulia, why don't you take it? Ooh, this is big. Go for it.
I need to read the 6th and 7th paragraph, yes?
Yeah, give me just a second.
Uh-huh.
Give me just a second. Yeah, okay, fine. Yes. Sorry,
The 6th and the 7th.
go for it.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it up. What should I read? What paragraph? 6th and the 7th, yes?
Yes.
Okay. The last time the boy had tried to do it, his method had been, in the doctor's words, a masterpiece of inventiveness. He would have succeeded had not an envious fellow patient, though he was learning
Thought. Yeah, it's important. It's not though.
Thought he was learning to fly and stopped him just in time. What he had really wanted to do was to tear a hole in his world and escape.
Wait. Just question. Last time he had tried to do it. What's the it refer to? Just to be clear?
The last time the boy had tried to do it.
If it's not clear, I'll tell you.
Yes. Yeah, please.
Let me ask the group first. What do you think it refers to?
Try to commit suicide?
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
The last time he tried to commit suicide. Exactly. Okay?
Yeah. The system of his delusions had been the subject of an elaborate paper in a scientific monthly, which the doctor at the sanitarium had given to them to read. But long before that, she and her husband had puzzled it out for themselves. Referential Mania, the article had called it. In these very rare cases, the patient imagines that everything happening around him is veiled reference to his personality and existence. He excludes real people from the conspiracy. Because he considers himself to be so much more intelligent than other men. Phenomenal nature shadows him wherever he goes. Clouds in the starry sky transmit to each other, by means of glow signs, incredibly detailed information regarding him. His inmost thoughts are discussed at nightfall in manual alphabet by darkly gesticulating trees. Pebbles or stains or sunflakes form patterns representing, in some awful way, messages that they must intercept.
Let me just stop you there for 1 second. 1 second. Because this one, it's got to be, you've got to really just hear it. And I'm afraid if you're reading it, it'll be too hard to follow.
Yes.
Right? Just listen for a second. Okay?
Okay.
And by the way, everyone will get a chance to read. Okay, so don't freak out anybody. We're all going to get a chance. Don't worry. But just listen to this passage because it's really important to hear the poetry, I guess, of the way it's written. Clouds in the staring sky, or staring sky. I guess it's starring. Clouds in the staring because is it staring at us or it has stars in it? It's a little bit unclear what he means. Maybe he means both. Clouds in the staring sky transmit to each other by means of slow signs incredibly detailed information regarding him. His inmost thoughts are discussed at nightfall in manual alphabet by darkly gesticulating trees. Pebbles or stains or sunflecks form patterns representing, in some awful way, messages that he must intercept. Everything is a cipher. A cipher is something hidden or a symbol. Everything is a cipher of everything, and he is the theme all around him. All around him are spies. Some of them are detached observers, like glass surfaces and steel pools. Others, such as coats in store windows, are prejudiced witnesses, lynchers at heart. Others, again, running water storms, are hysterical to the point of insanity, have a distorted opinion of him, and grotesquely misinterpret his actions. He must always be on guard and devote every minute and module of his life to the decoding of the undulation of things. The very air he exhales is indexed and filed away. If only the interest he provokes were limited to his immediate surroundings, but alas, it is not. With distance, the torrents of wild scandal increase in volume and volubility. The silhouettes of his blood corpuscles, magnified 1,000,000 times, flit over vast plains. And still further away, great mountains of unbearable solidity and height sum up, in terms of granite and groaning firs are trees, the ultimate truth of his being. Wow. Before I go on, geez, what does that tell you about, okay, maybe it says that he's crazy, but how does he perceive reality, according to that passage? We would get one or two ideas. So how does he perceive reality? Now we're seeing a bit of his internal world. Any ideas? The thing for me, I think, which makes it clear, is this line here. Don't worry about what all the words mean. Just get the general idea. The silhouettes of his blood corpuscles. It doesn't really matter. You know what blood is. That's the main thing. Part of his body is magnified 1,000,000 times. Blah, 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 blah. And is great mountains of unbearable solidity and height sum up. When we sum up, we give a little short version of something else. We think of mountains as very big, but these mountains, probably the real mountains in America that we see, right, they sum up in terms of granite and firs, the ultimate truth of his being. In other words, he sees reality as a reflection of his mental state. That's what I get from this paragraph. Great mountains sum up. The bigger the object, the more it says about him. Everything appears to be a kind of reflection of him. Clear? Not clear? Difficult? Easy?
Difficult.
There's a lot of vocabulary there. So I think the key idea is just that reality appears to be a reflection. Okay? But we can go back, we can talk about individual words if you like. Okay? Anna Carolina, why don't you take it from the next part? Go ahead. We're on 8.
8 and 9?
Whatever you like. Go for it.
Okay. When they emerged from the thunder and full air of the subway, the last dregs of day were mixed with the street lights. She wanted to buy some fish for supper, So she handed him the basket of jelly jars, telling him to go home. Accordingly, he returned to their permanent house, walked up to the third landing, and then remembered he had given her his keys earlier in the day. In silence, he sat down on the steps, and in silence rose when, some 10 minutes later, she came trudging heavily up the stairs, smiling wanly and shaking wanly and shaking her head in deprecation of her silliness. They entered their two-room flat and at once went to the mirror, straining the corners with his mouth apart by means of his thumbs. With a horrible, mask-like grimace, he removed his new, hopelessly uncomfortable dental plate. He read his Russian language newspaper while she laid at the table. Still reading, he ate the place victuals that she needed no teeth. She knew his moods and was also silent.
Just 3 words to repeat. I'll say them for you if you don't know the IPA symbols. Dregs.
Dregs.
Good. Grimace.
Which one?
I wrote it twice. Same word at the bottom. Grimace.
Grimace.
Good. And the one I missed above, foul.
Foul.
Good, good. So, what's a grimace, first of all? Is that clear? Maybe the word isn't familiar. What's a grimace?
I have no idea.
Ah. Class, what's a grimace? Help her out. Do you know?
It is a gesture.
A kind of gesture, yeah, with your face.
Yes.
Yeah. It looks something like a smile, more or less. Something like a smile, but not
long face expression, frown.
Okay, yeah, could be. I guess it could be a frown. And the point is, he makes a funny face, and it's kind of grotesque. It's kind of weird, like a something yeah. I guess frown is better than smile. Yeah, frown, because you look like you don't approve. You feel sick or something. You make a grimace. Why is he making this grimace? Anna Carolina, what's he doing that forces his face to look like this weird, grotesque, mask-like grimace? Is that clear in the text?
No, teacher, it's not clear.
Take a look at
It
this.
is very difficult.
Huh? Look what he's doing here. Straining the corners of his mouth by means of his thumb, with a horrible mask-like grimace. What does he do?
He did
He's
it.
taking...
Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Anna Carolina, go ahead.
No, you.
Someone, go ahead.
The teacher enjoy your voice, Julia.
Oh, Anna Carolina, don't. Oh, no, don't say things like that. Okay, it's not true.
Okay, teacher, because I had to beg you to read, and you gave her more than 20 lines.
Mm-hmm. I didn't give anyone anything. We're just reading the paragraphs as they come up. It's all random. Okay? It's all random.
Okay. I'm
Right.
not so lucky, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Julia. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to continue?
Maybe he sprained his mouse by his fingers.
Yeah. the strange description. So he's taking out his dental plate because he's an old man, right? He doesn't have any teeth. But the point is, after we have that weird description of reality, where mountains are summing up the scandal about this person, everything in the scenery somehow relates to him. The very next paragraph, we have reality. They go back home. They're sitting at their flat. And once again, we have this grotesqueness, right? The mask-like grimace, because he's straining his mouth. All I'm saying is, it seems to be not a coincidence that we have that word. Oh, and there's one more. When they emerge from the thunder and foul air of the subway. Does that remind you of anything in the previous paragraph? Anyone? This particular expression, foul air. Of course, foul air means air that doesn't smell good or air that's stale. But foul air also means something else. I don't know if you know this expression. Foul air. It means gossip. The way to say gossip. Did we encounter gossip recently in paragraph 7? Do you remember some gossip previously? Is that a no?
Gossip.
Yeah.
It's like something untrue.
Something that someone says that's untrue.
Yeah.
Did we encounter any gossip in paragraph 7? Anywhere?
No.
Are you sure? I think we did.
All around him there are spies.
Yes! Everything is gossiping about him. The trees are gossiping. There are spies. They're all talking about him. Exactly. And notice even this. The very air he exhales is indexed and filed away. So again, we have air, foul air, and the air that he exhales, sorry. And there was another line somewhere, detached observers, distorted opinion about him. Well, that's like a form of gossip, right? What else? I think that's it. Oh, here, wild scandal. There we go. With distance, the torrents of wild scandal increase in volume and volubility. So, all I'm saying is that we have this description of reality talking about him, and that talk appears in the form of physical things. And in the very next paragraph, when we're back to reality, the third person world, where we're looking at the old couple, the first thing we get is thunder and foul air. It sounds awfully familiar to the torrents of wild scandal from the rainstorms and the mountains. That's all I'm saying. I wonder if it's a coincidence. Okay, so I don't know if we're going to get to absolutely everything, but why don't we do this? Because we're going to run out of time here. I want to make sure, I want to give you a chance to read the rest of the story, and we can talk about it in the next class. But I also want to know what parts are difficult, if there's particular words, or what parts are difficult to follow, so I can help you on your way as you read it on your own. Okay?
Everything.
It's difficult. Difficult vocabulary. Yeah, it is.
Very difficult.
Mm-hmm. So
I was wondering. I was making some the vocabulary on the whole story. I think I made 40 or so.
It's a lot of vocabulary.
I could help the other students if they're interested in it. Then I could just upload it to
You can put it. You can put it directly in the document if you like. What did you do? You
Well,
made a vocabulary list?
I took the story and then I copied it to a Word document and then I saved it, and I can just save it in a second, I think.
Sure.
See if, I don't think if we have time, but I don't know. I should have done that. I made it in a Word document, and all the vocabulary is on the right side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no problem.
Synonyms, so
do this. Upload your Word document to Google Drive, and it'll instantly save in a Google format. And then send me the link, and I'll put your link in the document if you want to share your words.
I have it here. Just a second.
Okay. In the meantime, are there any specific questions which I can help you so you can think about these things throughout the week? Because I'd like you to read it on your own, and we can talk about it in the next class. Are there any specific questions I can help you with right now? All of you.
Teacher, it was very difficult. I couldn't understand. I don't know a lot of words.
So why don't I do this, Anna Carolina? What if I give a little summary of the part that we've read, and you can compare the summary to the text on your own?
Okay.
What if I give a little summary? Is that okay?
Yeah, it will be great.
Okay, so I'll do that.
Much better.
All right, and then you'll see the bear plot, the bear story in the summary.
Okay.
And then you can reread it. Remember, it's quite short, but as you reread it, you'll be able to follow it a little bit better. Okay? And Jürgen?
Yes, I actually made 2 documents, John Eric, because I always also made one with links and with my own interpretation of the story. But I could upload both documents to you, and then you could share them with the other students, perhaps. Sure. I could do that right away after the class here.
Sounds great.
I can upload them.
So you'll send me the links?
Yes, I can send you the links, perhaps to the media file upload, because I'm not so skilled to upload to the other.
Okay, just send me the links in the verbal message window.
It works. It should work fine. You could even download them to a cell phone, I believe, and read them there. So.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll do that.
Let's do that. Okay. So to sum up, I'm going to give you a simple summary where you can follow the plot a little bit easier. Okay, I'll share Jürgen's word list.
When will you send the summarize, John?
After teaching today, tonight. So tonight, okay?
Okay.
If you don't see it by tomorrow, remind me. Send me a message, okay?
Okay.
Sometimes get busy. All right. Anyway, it's a difficult story for vocabulary, but it's worth it. It's one of the great short stories of the English language. Give it a chance. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'll see you next time, and we'll talk about this in the next class.
Bye-bye.
Bye, teacher. Thank you, and sorry.
Bye for now. Bye-bye.